Hey guys, I've been kind of tracking the system and watching it ever since my last live feed here, and I'm gonna make this video going live here just to address some concerns that I'm watching with it because I've been kind of watching it progress. As you can see, the lightning picking up just a little bit and everything, and the wind shear kind of pushing it along. And these low top cells and everything. I've noticed that from looking at the data that has been coming out of the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center. Uh, I always kind of keep an eye on that data, but this data is, and I'll drag it over here in a minute. Right now, I'm looking at the reflectivity for this storm and this, so going into 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon, probably a little bit beyond that maybe, we're looking at this kind of line of these storms that are coming up. So if I zoom in on it, you can see, you know what I mean, over these areas of Barnstall, Bartlesville, here in the northeast of Oklahoma, these kind of red zones that are popping up. These are, you know what I mean, these supercells and everything that are starting to pop up here with this where this lightning is flashing off and everything like that, where that low is kind of just moving into the northeast. And by the evening, going to move into parts of the southeast of Kansas and southwest of Missouri, moving in here. But from what I've been seeing though and watching this system progress, it seems like it's moving fast. So, and then looking at the temperatures and everything, you're getting that warming that's being brought up. Just give it a minute here, and that warming that's being brought up as far, you know what I mean, and then you see this pit of cool air that's kind of blowing into it and just kind of mixturing, you know what I mean, with this dry line that's going to be east of it, and it's just going to kind of hang there. So, and it seems like it's projecting itself to the northeast and the east, and primarily the northeast here a little bit, you know what I mean, and it seems like it's projecting rather aggressively and moving kind of quick. So if I go to the high def radar here, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with these little embedded cells that are starting to develop here into supercells moving off to the northeast. And this is going to be the window, you know what I mean? This is going to be the threshold of the small amount of time right here where you're going to have some potential for some possibly convective you know storms that are going to be shaping themselves here. I'm going to drag this window over to look at the data that is coming from the Storm Prediction Center. So these are the dew points, and that's what I was looking at. And the dew points are already in the upper 40s to 50s in this region. So that's going to mean a lot of precipitation, a lot of water, and stuff like that. And I mean, you see the way this curves too, as well, with the wind shear and I hit the wrong window here. There we go. But with the wind shear, everything, the way that this is blowing through with the convection and everything, see, you're getting that flow that's coming from behind it that's right over here, and the way that it's kind of rotating around. Let me turn the winds on so that you can kind of see. Yeah, so you can see where that's coming from, you know what I mean, where you're getting that wind that's coming in from the southwest and, blowing around the way that it is, it's going to kind of feed to that flow, and it's strengthening it a little bit, just giving it a little bit more potential to form some convection in these cells, these supercells that are starting to develop. So this is what we're kind of looking at right now. But if we go back to this, then you can see those dew points that are going to be pushing in. They're pushing higher numbers in the 50s, high 40s, high 50, or I mean, low 50s right now. And then looking at the CAPE data, this is surface CAPE. So low level CAPE that's going to be pushing through, and it's going to be pushing through into this, you know what I mean, zone of the southeast of, the southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri by later this evening, and that's going to be, and that's a significant amount of CAPE. So I mean, it's definitely, the convective energy is definitely there to for the potential. So some severe weather that's going to be happening, or could be happening. Um, the supercell composite, as I'm showing you here, this is centrally located. pretty much on the same exact spot where we're seeing these supercells kind of pop up right here. So we're watching after that for any kind of rotation or any kind of instability and organization in this after that. But it's going to happen pretty quick because of how fast it's kind of blowing through. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Going down to the tornado parameter, the same thing, you know what I mean? You're kind of seeing that centralized location where those supercells are popping up. Helicity levels are kind of increasing. The LCL height is down to, what is it? Probably 500. Yeah, looking like 500 in these regions. So these are definitely starting to look more and more like favorable conditions for the possibility of some severe weather and some convective weather that's going to be able to happen in this region throughout the evening. So as this blows northeast and everything, like I said, it's going to happen rather quickly if it does happen. You're going to have to be looking for things to expect, you know, torrential rainfall, obviously, possibly a little bit of hail in some of these regions, and some damaging winds is definitely possible. You're going to have some higher wind levels and things like that. So make sure you're paying attention to your alerts and everything in these areas to see what the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service puts out. In case anything does unfold in this, we're just going to have to see how this develops as it moves northeast later in the evening, because right now it's kind of a confusing system to interpret. Don't really know what it's going to do at this point, because it could kind of go either way. So I'm just kind of watching it to see, you know what I mean, what it's going to act like later on. You know what I mean? It's kind of a confusing system to interpret, you know what I mean, to forecast. And I mean, hey, my forecasting ability isn't as great as some other meteorologists. I don't have as much experience with it, but I can kind of tell here and there. What I can interpret based on the data that they bring out from the Storm Prediction Center and things like that. You know, with these low-level cells, that, you know, you're looking at the surface cape and everything and how it's increasing. These numbers, you know what I mean, these indices have risen in strength and risen in you know what I mean, in their ability pretty quickly. I've been watching them kind of progress. So looking at that, you know what I mean, that's what we're kind of looking at later in the evening. If you're in these, you know what I mean, these areas up here in the, you know, the northeast of Oklahoma, you're going to have that window, you know what I mean, later in the afternoon and in the evening where you might have some possible severe weather that's going to be blowing through. So higher wind gusts, damaging wind gusts, definitely some heavy rain, and I would say some possibility in some areas of hail is definitely possible. Lightning, obviously, you can see all the flashes on this radar. Definitely be kind of in the know for your lightning safety and everything like that, you know, because there will be some lightning attributed to this. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for that. And going into this evening, as it moves into Missouri and Kansas, definitely we're going to have to be watching these systems as they move into these states. But it's kind of, you know what I mean, it's an interesting situation because it seems like most of the instability as far as the Cape and everything, if you look at this other page that I just showed you, you know what I mean, most of this instability is actually behind this storm. So it's behind these, you know what I mean, it's back here behind these cells where I'm showing you that are moving northeast, you know what I mean, but it seems like all this area up here, it seems like there's a lot more stability that seems to be quite organized up here. So as it moves northeast into Missouri and Kansas, I'm kind of interested to see what it's going to do after that point, if it's going to become more stable and start to dial, you know, down a little bit, or if that instability is going to kind of mix and mesh into it with the wind shear that's coming up here with these two, you know, areas of wind shear. Let me turn that wind on. So, you know what I mean, kind of right here along this line, you know what I mean, is where you're getting that mixture of the wind shear from the south and then it coming over here from the southwest. You know what I mean? This is going to be kind of, you know, the hot zone where some rotation and some mixture and mesh and everything like that could happen right in here on these low top cells, these supercells and things like that. So even though it seems like it's more stable up ahead of it, I want to see kind of what it does later in the evening ahead of this line as this instability just kind of follows it up. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what is going to transpire through the evening, but it's, it's kind of, it's one of those things you just can't predict. You have to see how it kind of develops. So just make sure that you're up on your warnings, listen to the National Weather Service, whatever they do put out. If any warnings do come out, I will go live again and I will let you guys know immediately when something transpires, but as of now, it just looks like severe thunderstorms with just heavy rain, a lot of wind, possibility of hail, and definitely some lightning. So just be mindful, be alert, and I will follow you guys up soon after watching and see how this storm develops. I appreciate you being with me.